make for them. And for the Liberty to do well tonight, she will need to score upwards of that 30-point margin as well again here tonight.
Talking with Christy Sides a couple of days ago, they of course want to slow her down, but you do gain some confidence from the fact that she can have a night like she did, and if you're Indiana, still get the victory. New York has lost 14 games in a row dating back to last season. The Fever have beaten them a pair of times in that run, and we are underway the 2019 season of Indiana Fever basketball here on the home floor in Bankers Life Fieldhouse, the 20th anniversary of the Indiana Fever. Here's Dupree on the early drive, and Dupree has the Fever on the board.
Great patience then in the first offensive play. You see Kelsey Mitchell working extremely hard on the wings, creating a lot of havoc defensively, opening up Dupree.
Dupree had 16 points per game in those first two. She's off to a strong start. Tina Charles' first look off the mark. The offensive rebound pulled down by New York's Boyd, and it's tipped out of bounds. It'll go the way of the Fever.
Well, that's not a good sign. Offensive rebounds, the Fever gave up 11 offensive rebounds in the previous games, and the coaches hammered on that point during the week.
Indiana was last in the league in rebounding last season. Tierra McCowan will certainly help with that, although she doesn't start, at least yet in her young career, as Indiana turns it over. Here's Boyd attacking Mitchell, scoops it under. That won't go, and now Mitchell looking to attack.
And look how quick Kelsey Mitchell brings that ball down the floor.
She'll line up a corner three, and there's three early for Kelsey Mitchell.
Well, we said before the game she hadn't been shooting the ball well, but you know that'll get her going early on tonight, confidence-wise.
That's her first three of the season, in fact, as Boyd left it off underneath, and they'll call a kick on Achanwa.
Just going back to Kelsey Mitchell, she has spent the offseason playing in Turkey. She came back into training camp in probably the best shape that I have seen her over her rookie season and now. So she's very focused.
It just seems like there's a confidence about her that maybe wasn't quite there in year number one. Zowie B, she can launch it from out there. That's off the mark, and Wheeler has it for the Fever. It was poked away from behind. Wheeler tried to rescue it, and they'll say it's off of New York. Boyd touched it last. Last season, Indiana was last in rebounding, last in offense. Those are probably the two areas they are looking to improve the most this year, as Laney gets good position and the left hand works.
Strong play there by Benaja. She has been a great pickup by the Indiana Fever, coming from Connecticut as a free agent. Defensively, she just sets the tone.
Nurse lines up a three. The always attack-minded Erica Wheeler, a step back two.
Perky Chapman, you can see her over on the sideline here, just loving what's going out on the court right now. A fantastic start for the Fever.
Everything falling for Indiana so far. They're 4 of 4 from the floor. Here's Nurse, another three. This one's short as well, and one and done as they'll send it ahead. Delaney, a great find from Wheeler.
Oh, we got a timeout already by New York.
Well, how's this for a start to your home opener? It's 11-0 Indiana Fever. They haven't missed, and they're already up double digits. Friday night, the Fever hosts the Dallas Wings. Kids 14 and under eat free with their paid game ticket. You can check out seating options and grab your tickets at feverbasketball.com/tickets. Well, hard to ask for a better start if you're Indiana. They've jumped up early 11-0. Naturally, New York goes right Charles' way. She missed in the putback. New York is on the board with Tina Charles, who had 32 in the opener, but a game the Fever won.
The work isn't done with Tina Charles when that first shot goes up, because she's going after her own rebounds every single time.
That was a great bounce pass from Charles to find Nurse, but she couldn't hold on to it. And New York has turned it over twice here early.
It's kind of like a bit of a reversal here of how it went in game one, where the Fever couldn't score a basket for the first 5 minutes. The New York Liberty got out to a hot start.
And Liberty led by double digits in the first quarter before the Fever closed the half strong. Catch Asia Durr here, the rookie out of Louisville on the foul. You have the number 2 and the number 3 overall pick facing off tonight, although they likely won't literally face off. McCowan is a 6'7" center. Achanwa, backdoor fine. Wheeler on the baseline. And another whistle off the ball going against New York. This one on Kia Nurse. You have to like the ball movement so far from the Fever.
Definitely, you could hear that on the sideline. They were hoping for maybe one more kick there from Kelsey Mitchell before the foul was called, but it's a very good sign right now.
Wheeler had 26 points in the loss to Connecticut. Achanwa tried to tip it across the Dupree. It got deflected.
I'm not sure. She clearly didn't realize she was so wide open to grab that rebound and bring herself down.
Good ball movement. They'll set up Brittany Boyd in the corner. New York just 1 of 9 here early. They're 0 of 4 from the three-point line. And here's Mitchell on the attack. Mitchell right to the rim. Couldn't get the roll.
Great attack mode by Kelsey Mitchell. Her speed is just phenomenal.
She's such a good shooter, but you like to see her attack in those moments as well as New York turns it over again. The Fever doing a good job of getting in passing lanes here early.
Tina Charles just showing a little bit of frustration there on that missed pass to Zowie B. But you know at any time Tina Charles can get hot. The ball is going to keep going into her hands offensively.
Wheeler off the Dupree screen, lofts it up and gets the roll.
Now the Fever are going to milk those pick and roll situations. The post players for the Liberty are way back.
Fever have opened 6 of 9 from the floor. Rebecca Allen, this is what she does. She just checked in. That's off the mark. New York now 0 of 5 from 3. They've opened up ice cold. Dupree, that's her spot. And Zowie B claims it for New York. This is Asia Durr, the number 2 overall pick. Prolific scorer at Louisville. Good find underneath the Charles, and Dupree had to reach in.
Great find there by Durr to Charles. As we see Erica Wheeler, you could see her eyes looking left and right, making sure she knew where the defense was. No one came to step up to take her, so she kept going to the basket for that floater.
Tina Charles to the line for 2. She has New York's only 2 points. She's 13 points shy of Angel McCoughtry for 15th all-time on the WNBA scoring charts. And while McCoughtry is an active player, she's hurt and may miss the season. So as long as Charles stays healthy, she will get there, and perhaps even tonight, as she has all 3 for the Liberty. If you're Indiana, you've allowed just 1 shot to go in on the other end in half of a quarter gone by so far. Tiffany Mitchell's checked in for the Fever. Here's Kelsey for 3.
Kelsey probably feeling it from that initial 3-point shot that she made.
Good position for Charles, but Achanwa came over to help and deflected it out of bounds.
Well, Katie Smith definitely not happy on the sideline. They're expecting a foul call on that possession. I might agree.
Achanwa came over and tried to make it difficult. But you have to watch out when Charles gets that position. He can be so lethal down there on the block. And here's the Fever 3rd overall pick. Tara McCowan checking in for the first time. A nice ovation here from the home crowd. Natalie Achanwa will check out.
This is exactly what the fans have been waiting for. Tiara to step on home court.
And picks up a rebound on her first possession. New York now 1 of 13 from the floor. Laney hit one earlier. That's a tough fadeaway.
Hartley pushing the ball up the floor for New York, just trying to get something going as we see Charles missing a 3-point shot there. And we've talked earlier before the commentary about her shooting style, how she shoots behind her head. It's very uncommon. As Kelsey Mitchell, she's finding that stroke now.
5 points early for Mitchell. That leads all scorers, and Indiana's lead now at 12. Charles looking for a backdoor cut. Mitchell came in there to intercept it. She was out of bounds. Fever really active on the defensive end here early.
I was going to say that New York was all out of sorts, but you've got to credit that to the Fever defense right now.
Kennedy Burke has checked in. This is her first action. She was drafted by Dallas and waived as Charles glides to the lane and will go to the line for 2 more. Burke, a rookie out of UCLA, was the 22nd overall pick. Drafted by Dallas, played well in the preseason, was a surprise to some to see her waived. She was waived on May 23rd. 2 days later, the first day the Fever could claim her, they did. And just like that, if you're Kennedy Burke, you go from being waived to into the lineup here in the first quarter.
Oh, and she's very grateful for this second opportunity. And like you said, there were a lot of people who were very surprised by her being waived. And I'm sure that Indiana weren't the only team trying to, get her onto their roster.
Charles has all 5 of New York's points. Mitchell inside, a good move, just couldn't finish. She's a little slow to get up, and now Allen the other direction. She can't get it to go. Hartley pulled it down, somehow kept it in bounds, and here's Durr.
Malaysia Durr, we know how offensively minded she is, and that's what they'll be expecting from her. And it didn't take too long to inject her into the starting lineup, and they've got big expectations.
Mitchell on the attack through traffic, that left hand.
And you talk about expectations. Tiffany Mitchell is someone that the Fever are hoping, and she has shown these first few games that she has improved her game.
And an offensive foul going against the Liberty. That's Tina Charles. Tiffany Mitchell's been excellent off the bench this season, 15 points per game. She had 22 against New York, and that right there to me seems to be the key of her game. Finishing in those tough situations, she does such a good job of getting to the rim. Finishing seems that next step.
Well, she's, like you said, she's finishing strong. She's finishing balanced. I think in the previous couple of years, you would see her tending to fall down a lot, or she would be kind of just moving in the opposite direction as to where she wants to shoot the ball. So that's been a huge adjustment of her, just her body adjustment.
She's healthy as well, which is something she's dealt with off and on in her first 3 seasons. She missed the end of the year in year 2, and while she played most of last season, was dealing with some injuries, some nagging injuries for most of it. And you can just tell that burst is different for her. A look in for the big 6'7" McCowan, and first they'll get her for steps.
You can see that play was designed to get Big T the ball down there in the paint, but as you can see, her feet just takes an extra step there. Easy call for the referee.
With Tina Charles currently off the floor, the Fever have a major size advantage in the post. Durr pulling up. Mitchell got in there for the deflection. It touched New York last, and it'll be Fever basketball. They have swarmed on the defensive end. New York is 2 of 17 from the floor.
And last year, while Tiffany Mitchell was struggling offensively, defense was one thing that she was able to maintain.
Here is Mitchell. She'll try the baseline. Wheeler with a shot clock down to 5. Had it poked away. Good defense from Hartley. And now Hartley attacking Wheeler. Can't get the finish. Achan was there. She couldn't save it. Allen's 3 is off the mark, and here's Mitchell for Indiana.
You hear the coaches just calling out for Tierra to post up, but Natalie Achanwa, whoa! She is pumped, going for the and 1.
What an athletic finish here for Natalie Achanwa, who took the contact and able to finish.
It looked like a guard just then, taking the ball from the 3-point line.
The Fever shooting at 56% from the floor. New York is 11%. And Achanwa gives Indiana 20.
Just the ability now to change up the rotations of the post players. And so teams can't get used to any particular style of how they're defending. They've got to switch it up now depending on the personnel out there.
Hartley using that screen, a contested three. The Fever have to be okay with that. Rain Kakakunwe can't pull it down. And again, New York is one and done.
Hartley putting some defensive pressure up the floor on Erica Wheeler, denying her the ball.
See, when Wheeler gets it, Koki Chapman wants her to go. Mitchell on Rain Kakakunwe, dribbled it off her foot. The shot clock's down to 3. Mitchell floats it up and gets the bang.
Great shot clock awareness there by Tiffany Mitchell. You could tell she took a quick glance up, saw there was only 3 seconds to go as the Fever coming back down the floor again.
Wheeler gets the steal, Wheeler gets the lay-in, and just like that, the Fever's lead is 17. Well, you think Koki Chapman had him ready here for the home opener? You play a couple on the road, and it's almost like the passion for your home opener. It's been building for a week for the Fever.
You know, and it's that energy about the 20th season as well, all the 20th celebrations that's going on. Koki Chapman showing her skills there on the sideline, but Erica Wheeler, there you see her pushing the ball up the floor, protecting that ball. Like I said, she's the blue-collar worker of the team, gets them fired up.
And now Paris Key's going to check in for the first time in her WNBA career.
Correction, 2 second foul under 2 minutes.
He was the 25th overall pick in 2019, did not play in either of those road games.
Some familiar faces there on screen just now. VP of Operations, Tamika Catchings. Former Indiana Fever assistant coach, Julie Plank. And I do believe Kristen Airy was right next to Julie Plank there.
There's Chris.
Looking very tanned.
Chris always looks tan. Very jealous. It can be December 15th. It can be December 15th, and the Pacers can be on a road trip in like Chicago and New York.
I'm sure he's found a golf course somewhere. Definitely not here in Indiana, though. Not with the weather we've had.
He'll be part of the halftime celebration here tonight. Gray inside. Good help defense from McCowan.
You know, and that's exactly what Tierra McCowan has brought to this team. You see when, especially when guards get into the paint, they have to change their shot, the way they shoot the ball, because now all of a sudden they're shooting over a 6'6" player, which they haven't had to do in the past.
Erica Wheeler checks out after 7 quality minutes. She had 8 points and 3 rebounds. Wheeler is averaging 21 a game in these first 2. There's Paris Key sporting the blonde hairdo. Mitchell left alone. And Wright comes up with the rebound. New York looking to close with any sort of momentum. It's been all Fever here early on. Tanisha Wright will pull it out. Wright attacking McCowan. Threw it down underneath. Rain Kakakunwe had it knocked out of bounds. Even when McCowan didn't get it there, you feel her presence.
Oh, for sure. Just right now, New York just don't seem organized. I think they're a bit shocked of the way that the Indiana Fever have come out and started the game.
Into Allen, her failure at the buzzer won't go, and you can't draw it up any better than that. 26-7, the Fever dominant in every facet. Here their home opener in 2019 on Wish TV. A dominant first quarter for the Indiana Fever. They lead by 19 points. The Liberty hit just 2 shots in that first quarter. They shoot it just 9% from the floor. And while Indiana was fantastic on the offensive end, 61% shooting on their own end, you really have to be impressed with what the Fever did on the defensive side.
Well, you look at the spread of scorers there on the Fever side. Only 2 players have scored for the New York Liberty.
Tina Charles has 5 of them, and she sat the final couple minutes of that first quarter. She's back in, got it over to Dupree, and that nice move from Charles on the right side of the rim.
And expect to see a lot more of that. Tina Charles will need to get the ball just about every possession down the floor just to attract that defense, but she's got to take control now of her team here.
From the post to McCowan, she gets the double. He on the fake, good ball movement to Dupree.
I was all ready for Paris Key to take that shot then.
Nurse on the other end, and New York has the first 5 of the second.
Kia Nurse is another player that the Fever were focusing on defensively at practice. She's had a great preseason. She had a great off-season down under my home country of Australia.
There's McCowan getting good position underneath. When she gets it there, it is just simply game over. Too big, too physical. They have Dupree on Charles, though.
Charles had nowhere to go. She saw McCowan taking up the paint.
And a defensive 3 seconds. I think they're going to get Tierra McCowan.
This is one of those rules that she's going to have to get used to.
Not something you have to deal with in the college game. And Kia Nurse hits the technical free throw.
Like I was saying, Kia Nurse played for the Canberra Capitals, and she was a part of the championship winning team there. And she's continued her good form through the preseason into now. She's a focal point defensively for the Fever.
Boyd underneath, good find to Gray, and Gray got fouled. So New York has opened up here the second quarter with a lot more urgency.
Foul the Fever, number 7.
I'm pretty sure Katie Smith got him fired up after that first quarter. She wouldn't have liked what she just watched in that last 10 minutes.
Shonda Gray at the line. Shooting
Shonda Gray will shoot 2. It's her birthday. She turns 26 today.
I wish I was turning 26. My next birthday.
Gray 1 of 2 from the line. New York had just 7 points in that first quarter. Already here in the first 90 seconds of the second, they have 7 points. Key attacking inside, through contact. A nice finish for the Fever rookie.
Great finish. Paris Key was the 25th out of the draft that the Indiana Fever picked up. She has got a lot of potential.
Nurse on the drive. Nurse has 6. And Tiffany Mitchell is fouled by Brittany Boyd. Schedule the care you need online anytime. With GetStVincentCare.com, you can choose a time that's right for you at a location near you.
So we see Zowie B enter the game again for New York.
He shrugs off Boyd and hits another. Well, she's a 25th overall pick. Players in that range are guaranteed nothing. And Kennedy Burke knows that very well. As Key getting in the defensive lane. The first couple times you watched her at practice, immediately you see her acceleration, her quickness, and you say, I know the 25th pick is guaranteed nothing, but this seems like a player that's going to make this team, and sure enough, she has, and is impressing here in her debut.
Well, she definitely earned her spot during training camp. Like you said, her speed defensively, you know, 1 minute you thought, well, 1 second you thought she was beat, but then all of a sudden with a couple of quick side steps, she's back in front, although getting beat to the paint that time. But I was very impressed by her during training camp.
Nurse way off the mark. Indiana doesn't have to grab it. Laney does. Now Laney attacking Allen. Bouncing from McCowan, a bit behind her. She and Zowie B tangle for it, and they'll call a jump ball.
Yes, that was a tough pass there for Tierra to grab. It was slightly behind her. As you can see right there, Zowie B getting a hand to it. I know, but I think my money's on McCowan to win this jump ball.
He's 6'7", Zowie B is 6'5", the former high draft selection. She went number 2 in 2015.
Players are just explaining to them that they are facing the wrong basket.
Still early in the season.
That's right.
Everybody's working the kinks out, and McCowan does win the tip. 14 seconds for the Fever. Mitchell takes just a couple. They'll call her for a push-off.
Well, earlier on, I think Tiffany Mitchell was pretty close to being called for that exact same thing. But you can see she She didn't get away with it that time, extending the arm in the middle of the chest there.
Extension's what they're looking for there on the baseline. Anytime you get that forearm out and make contact, you're likely going to see that kind of call. Zoe B, a three, and that one she hits.
She was scoreless in game 1. And that was her first basket made just now.
Fever go back to the rookie. McCowan over her left shoulder. Boyd going at Key. Key got a piece and great defense from the rookie, who comes up with the rebound and feeds ahead to Laney. Laney 1-on-2, and Laney gets it to go.
Great defense leads to that two-point basket there, and what a great finish. I wasn't quite sure whether she got herself off balance there at the end, but fantastic finish.
What a first 5 minutes for Paris Key of her WNBA career.
There's got to be a mismatch there somewhere because Tiara McCowan was defending Boyd.
Indiana gets the stop nonetheless. He draws the double. Dupree, the hesitation. Oh, the smooth finish at the rim.
Look at that vet getting in on the action as well. She just brings that calmness, that coolness, makes everything look easy.
And Indiana has ballooned that lead right back to 17. Boyd gets inside, Zoe B.
Well, you can see Boyd, she has her mindset that she is just taking it to Paris.
So New York, who hit just 2 shots in the first quarter, starting to climb back into things here. They've made 5 already in the second quarter. Key got free underneath and fouled by Boyd.
Well, great screen set down by McCowan, caught Boyd off guard.
Fever rookie has been impressive here in her first few minutes in the Fever. So with a commanding 15-point lead in their home opener. Get the newest Fever gear at feverteamstore.com or in person here at Bankers Live Fieldhouse. Tonight's Game Night Special is an All for Love t-shirt for just $12. Available now at feverteamstore.com. See some of the younger fans there. One of the cool aspects of tonight's game, all season ticket holders who have been here from day one have their name on the floor. And it was really nice on Twitter seeing some of those pictures where people were posting, you know, here was my child when they were 6 or 7, and now, you know, they're in their 20s and they've been with the Fever for pretty much their entire lifetime.
Everybody that has come into the building up until now, especially the young players who weren't obviously here, just seeing that and the respect that they were showing, it was great to see. It's very humbling.
See those names on the floor there. They're right in front of the Fever bench as Key goes 1 of 2 from the line. It's been a terrific debut for her. 5 points in 5 minutes, an assist, a rebound. She's been strong on the defensive end.
Of the 9 Indiana Fever players that have hit the court, 8 have scored.
And Erica Wheeler is checking back in. She crossed the 1,000-point threshold with the Indiana Fever when she hit those couple of free throws in the first quarter. She already has 8. That's the 12th member of the Fever to be in the 1,000-point club. And we might get number 13 tonight as well. Candace Dupree is currently 14 points shy of 1,000 in a Fever uniform.
Yeah, I feel her breathing down the back of my neck as well in that assist department. I think she's still about 80 shy of overtaking my... I'm not sure what number it is, but...
You play earlier in this league, and then you just get to sit back and watch everybody break your records.
And that's what it's meant to happen.
Good position underneath. Hartley can't finish. And this time, Hartley threw it right into the midst of Dupree. Wheeler back to Dupree, and Dupree going to the line.
Candace got the deflection there on the defensive end, and you could just see her take off, and Erica Wheeler found her there in transition. Great heads-up play by the vet. You can see her create that contact, and it was an easy call for the referee to make.
Dupree at 16 points per game in her first 2. She already has 7 here in the first half tonight. The Fever just have not let up on this gas pedal here, even in the second quarter where New York's been better. The Fever now have their first 20-point lead of the evening.
See how the Liberty respond, you know, coming from 20 points down. You see many times teams come from that far behind. It's a lot easier to chase than to keep.
Hartley with a shot clock down to 7. Zowie B hit a 3 earlier. This one off the mark, and Achanwa there for Indiana. Wheeler looking ahead. Dupree thought she had Mitchell in the corner.
You see a yellow shirt in the stands must have caught Dupree's eye then, because Kelsey was nowhere near that pass.
Even when the passes are errant, the ball movement from Indiana has really been a spectacle here in the first half. We're already with 9 assists. I'll get Dupree on the foul there, going against Zowie B. Zowie B's had an interesting career. She was picked number 2nd and second overall, and I think she had a little bit of an adjustment early on in her career. She started with Tulsa. It's really starting to come into her own, and part of that has been developing the perimeter shot.
Mostly have seen Zowie on the perimeter because you've got a Tina Charles there, you know, to command the post area. But when Tina Charles is not on the floor, she is going down to that low block a lot more.
And that's the case right now. Charles, who's played 13 minutes, is on the bench. A couple fouls. They certainly don't want her to pick up her 3rd here in the final 3.5 minutes. Nurse on the drive. Here's Zowie B again.
Checked her feet to make sure she was behind that white line.
Hartley switched on McCowan. Here's Zowie B over at Achanwa off the mark. They'll say a foul on the floor going against the Fever.
Well, Gray was working extremely hard there trying to get to that offensive board, so I'm not sure. Benajah Laney, the foul was called on her. You could see it. It was just a lot of yellow. I could see trying to box her out.
Late here in the second quarter, the Fever have missed 9 shots and the Liberty have made 7. Nurse, she's lethal from out there, although she struggled tonight. Gray with the rebound and the putback.
You know, and this is what Gray did in the first game. She came off the bench and injected some energy into the New York Liberty. As we see a technical foul here.
Technical foul on the Fever, number 11, Natalie Achanwa.
It's on Achanwa. Was it immediately evident what that was? Perhaps it was something she said. She's a little hot as her teammates try to get her composed.
You know, and that's important for her teammates to kind of get around her, kind of calm her down. You can see her still talking out there, so she needs to be a little bit careful.
We're trying to figure out possession here and when exactly that technical foul happened.
The ball should go back to the Indiana Fever. They've corrected that call now.
You see the shot clock down a second. That in itself tells you it was Fever possession.
Some good pressure there by Hartley on Erica Wheeler.
Achanwa guarded closely by Zowie B. She shovels it to McCowan, but it tipped away, and they'll say the rookie touched it last. Late here in the second quarter, the Fever in front by 17 points on Wish TV. Latest information with the official Fever app. Get live stats, tweets, videos, and more. Plus, see how you can upgrade your seats. Download the official Fever app at feverbasketball.com/app. There's Dr. Allison Barber on the app right now, the new Fever president. Victoria Vivian, who we don't like seeing in the seats, also using the app, perhaps trying to figure out how they can upgrade their game night experience. Although I'm guessing they have a pretty good one.
That's right. You talk about a player that you wish should be out there on the floor as well this season.
Zowie B, Gray, and Achanwa wrestling for that one. And they'll say New York touched it last.
See Nat getting all fired up just before that timeout, so that was probably a good break then for her just to calm down. We don't need her getting another technical.
They called Zowie B on the foul. 3 Liberty players have 2. The only Fever player with a pair of fouls is Candace Dupree. She's currently on the bench.
Shot clock down to 7 seconds now.
Wheeler looking inside for Achanwa. That errant pass gobbled up by Zowie B. Cross court, right back into the hands of Laney. Here's Wheeler. Achanwa on the hesitation, puts on the brakes and scores. Fever have led by as many as 20 as Durr pulls up, can't get the roll.
There's Gray coming up with the offensive boards. She's working extremely hard down there for the Liberty. The Fever coaches won't be happy with the second chance.
Asia Durr in her first career start, 1 of 5 from the floor. Wheeler attacking inside at Hartley, thought she got fouled.
I'd like to see that one again on replay.
B had it poked away by Achanwa. Well, nothing has been easy for New York, especially when they get inside.
Like, you know, watching defensively, nothing clean. You can see a lot of deflections going on out there. The Fever have got their hands in the passing lanes, so it just hasn't looked clean for them offensively.
This is Hartley back to Zowie B. I'll say Achanwa didn't give her space to land.
Nat trying to contest the shot, but just getting a little too close that time. You know, with the way that Zowie B has not been shooting the ball, yeah, probably would have been wise just to close out a little short on her. And
she's capable of hitting that shot, but if she's going to take it 5 times and a half, that's probably not the worst thing if you're Indiana. She's a 61% foul shooter. She took more threes last year than her first 3 years combined in the WNBA. So this has been an aspect of her game that is evolving. And it's a pretty good one. But all things considered, if you're the Fever and you're choosing your battles, Zowie B 1 of 3 from the line, but Gray with the rebound and adds the 2 right back.
That's about the 3rd offensive rebound I think that Gray has gotten this quarter. As you can see, some subs getting ready now for the Fever. The coaches won't be happy with that.
And Stephanie Mavunga. New York is winning the rebound battle 20-15, but it's a little deceiving because Fever aren't missing very much. Laney from the corner. McGowan wrestling for it, and they'll get her on a foul.
Now just shot out and in. As you see Tierra going after that offensive rebound, which is great to see. But now we go back down the other end as the Fever are in foul trouble.
Indiana now into the penalties, so New York will shoot free throws.
I think I made the comment before, it always seems to be easier to be that team behind to try and claw your way back than the team to try and maintain that lead. And as you can see, the lead has now come down to 15 points, if my math is correct.
Hardly a 71% foul shooter, has the first. Originally drafted by Seattle, traded to Washington on draft night, and has spent the last 3 years in New York. One of the many players out of Connecticut in the WNBA. They have more than any other college. Mitchell had that hot start. She's got Durr on her.
7 seconds left on the shot clock.
Wheeler off the screen, got it back to McCall.
Great little pick and pop there by Wheeler to Bird. As they call her, Erica McCall coming off the bench.
Hartley driving hard, got it knocked away. And it'll stay with New York with just 1.2 left on that first half clock.
Again, a deflection. You know, I'd like to see the deflection chart in this first half for the Fever.
This will have to be a very quick catch and shoot, maybe time for a dribble, one at most. Hartley will let it fly, swatted away by Laney, and that finishes off a fantastic first half for the Fever. They led by as many as 20, and they'll take a 16-point advantage into halftime. Stay with us, more halftime coverage coming up on Wish TV. It's the Indiana Fever in control after 2 on Wish TV.
You cannot take your foot off the pedal defensively with her.
We saw Kelsey Mitchell get off to that nice start. She hit a couple of early shots, 5 points in that first half, as Mitchell looking to get going after a bit of a struggle in her first 2. Still very early here, just game number 3 of a 34-game season. And Indiana with a 16-point lead here as we enter the third quarter. Fever with their same 5 they started with, same true of New York. A pair of number 2 overall picks going at it. That's Mitchell and Durr, and Kelsey's calling for the foul.
Kelsey just trying to apply the defensive pressure there, and this is one area I feel like she has developed over the off-season. She felt that Tina Charles screen just then.
Charles backing in on the smaller Dupree over that left shoulder. Charles, who had 7 points at the half, averaged 20 a game last season. She's a former MVP of this league. You don't shut a player like that down, but the Fever have done a fantastic job of controlling her in the first half.
That's right. You don't expect to shut someone of her caliber down, but what you hope to do is keep her numbers down from the averages.
Wheeler had to let it fly with the shot clock winding down, but the Fever with the offensive possession. Remember, the shot clock, it resets to 14. Here's Kelsey Mitchell, and Mitchell connects.
Great play after that offensive rebound there. The Fever do extremely well with the pick and roll.
She's adjusting a bit to the ball being out of her hands a little more than last season as Charles turns again. This one's short. Zowie B pulled down the rebound, maybe got away with a walk.
Koki Chapman stomp out of the corner of my eye. I could see, because those offensive rebounds are leading to points, which, you know, can easily bring this 15-point margin down very quickly.
Maybe the only area where the Fever would have liked to play better in that first half. New York now has 9 offensive rebounds. The Fever have 1. Durr open from the corner, and Asia Durr cans a 3.
You know, she's very capable of that. And that's the start that Katie Smith was hoping for the New York Liberty. Much better than the beginning of the game. It'll be interesting to see if Koki Chapman leaves it for another basket, maybe call a timeout.
Mitchell got hit from behind on the drive. 7-3 open to the third quarter for New York. You look at the college careers of Asia Durr and Kelsey Mitchell. I mean, these are 2 of the most prolific scorers in the history of NCAA athletics. Dupree, good find. Here's Mitchell again.
That one looked good as soon as it left the hand. And again, great ball movement by the Fever.
Durr and Mitchell going back and forth. Here's Charles. Charles now just 4 of 12 from the floor. And Indiana will take over.
Candace just doing a great job of standing her ground. You can see Charles trying to work it down into the low block, but Candace holding strong. Probably took a little elbow there to the face. Unintentional, of course.
Shot clock down to 6. Wheeler on the drive. Achan with a fake, and Achanwa rolls it in.
That's like a layup now for Nelly Achanwa, isn't it?
She and Candace Dupree so prolific from the mid-range. Pop on the pick and pop. Really tough to defend. Zowie B, another 3. This one off target. She's now 1 of 5 from out there, and she took one and got fouled as well. Mitchell will fire. Get a couple threes already in this one.
From the Fever, number 44, Benaja Lane, her second.
Benaja Layden being called by the foul then, but as you can see, Erica Wheeler doing a great job getting her feet into the paint, finding the open Nada Chanwa, and like we said, that mid-range jump shot now is like a layup for her.
They're back for Zowie B. Oh, Laney picked her pocket, and Benaja Laney will take it all away.
And when Pokey Chapman and the coaching staff picked up Benaja, they knew exactly what they were going to get. There's a connection between them from when Benaja was drafted by Pokey Chapman when coaching Chicago Sky back in 2015.
Durr pulls up and answers for New York. Asia Durr having a nice second half. She now has 7. By the way, it's been a bit quiet because it's come in a couple of bursts, but Kelsey Mitchell's 11 points. Match with Tina Charles for the game high. They had popped Amanda Zowie B so many times, and you talk about tendencies. You hear coaches say that phrase KYP, know your personnel. Zowie B has come out there popping to the three-point line, and she's taken 5 threes, got fouled on another. And that time, Benaja Laney was ready for it.
You know, Benaja just has that natural defensive instinct. She knows how to use the angles, come up with those steals.
Dupree on the attack, back for Tiffany Mitchell. Tough shot, and they'll call a foul on New York. Still early into the season, just game number 3. Look at the contact on the hand. Wasn't a lot, but just enough to get the whistle. Mitchell continues to play like this. 6th Woman of the Year, I think, will start to draw some discussion for the Fever 4th-year guard.
Well, coming off the bench, Tiffany Mitchell is just being a huge injection of offense and defense. And obviously with the loss of Shanice Johnson right now, and not knowing her status day to day, so it's really important that Tiffany comes off and is productive.
Yeah, Shanice Johnson, if you're just joining us, missing her first game with a sprained left knee. It's the same knee that she tore the ACL in. Dupree with the active hands comes up with the steal. Wheeler blows by Nurse ahead to Achanwa, who waits. Achanwa got fouled. They'll say it was on the floor. But a great sequence there for the Fever.
Again, it all starts with the defense. You can see the Fever players, you know, they just look like a tight-knit unit out there right now in comparison to New York. And Nada Chanwa was hoping that N1 was going to be given, but it was way before that shot was put up.
There's Katie Smith, Herb Williams to her left, former Pacer. Tiffany Mitchell crosses over Allen. The pull-up is short. Underneath, Zowie B rolls it in.
Zowie B getting deep into the paint then. Great find by Tina Charles. You know, when you get that position on the floor, it's pretty hard to defend.
Mitchell going right back at Allen. Indiana likes that matchup. Tipped out of bounds and will stay with the Fever. The lead, 16 entering the 3rd. It's 16 midway through the 3rd. Fever on Fox Sports. TV. Back here from the fieldhouse, it's a 16-point lead for the Fever, who have led by as many as 20 tonight. A terrific start as Mitchell gets the finish. She goes colliding into that stanchion. And Tiffany Mitchell with an athletic 2 for Indiana.
As you see, Gray being called for an offensive foul there, but you see Tiffany Mitchell, she slips over at the top of the keyway there, manages to get herself balanced again and just attacks the paint. What a great finish there.
To me, that's the whole key to her game. You see her ability to get to the rim has always been there. It's finishing when she gets there, and she's been terrific tonight in those scenarios. Mitchell is 3 of 5. She has 7. Wheeler on the pull-up and gets it to go.
Erica Wheeler, we talked about what a hot start she's had to the season. She's continuing that here tonight.
Charles over Dupree. Charles now 4 of 13 from the floor. Laney goes down. They'll say Nurse stripped him.
Naja, she is a beast out there. There was no way she was letting that ball being taken out of her hands.
That's already the 6th foul on New York in the quarter, so at a really bad foul. It comes about 70 feet from the hoop and will result in free throws for Laney, who's a 50% free throw shooter on the young season. Played a career high 26 minutes at Connecticut, about 9 minutes a game last year when she played for Connecticut. So she's been enjoying a much bigger role this year.
And she's also, even though she is a new player to the Indiana Fever, she has come in and gained the respect of her teammates from the get-go. And you can see that she has already taken on a leadership role within the group.
1 of 2 from the line, and Indiana now enjoying its largest lead of the night.
I'll be interested to see if they bring McCowan in shortly, given that the Liberty are in foul trouble.
Durr off the screen. Chanwa is going to be called for reaching over there on Rashonda Gray. Right on cue. Almost like you're a coach.
Well, now maybe McCowan can work herself down in that low block, and with New York not being able to put that extra defensive pressure on, she might be able to get herself a couple of baskets down there.
She played 12 minutes in the first half, 4 rebounds, 2 points, 1 of 2 from the floor. Did pick up a couple fouls too.
You know, we see Nat Chanwa taking a break, and she has earned that break. She is contesting every single shot. She's there defensively. Sometimes you just can't stop a great player like Tina Charles.
Fever have done a nice job overall. 5 of 14 at Charles. Mitchell explores the baseline to Kelsey Mitchell.
The two Mitchells combining there.
Oh, we talked about it in the open. This might be where you see Kelsey Mitchell with a breakout performance. She had struggled in her first 2 games. Mitchell now has 14. Charles on the fake, looking underneath, and right there's Laney.
What an impact she has had on the defensive end in this game.
Kelsey Mitchell, one of those players, you see an early shot go down and you see the confidence levels just skyrocket for her. And she did get her first shot to go down in the first quarter here tonight. And she'll head to the line, a very good foul shooter. Mitchell with a game-high 14 points. Shot it at 80% from the stripe last year.
She seems to have accumulated those points, you know, pretty quickly. And that's the thing about Kelsey. She can just light it up. Nice roll there.
How about the response for the Fever? They were outscored 7-3 to open up the third quarter, and since then have outscored the Liberty 18-6. Charles thought about the long 2, instead turns it over on back-to-back possessions.
Tiffany Mitchell getting her hand there, but unfortunately the Fever have turned it over again.
I'll say McCowan displaced Rashonda Gray. It's her third. Tierra McCowan's going to be a player that in her rookie year, she's just going to have to get through some of this. She's a rookie and she has such a wide base that I think she's going to start getting some more of these calls as her career goes on, but she's probably going to be a bit flummoxed from time to time here in year 1.
Well, physically, she's getting used to the tempo of the game. She's coming, against Connecticut, she was up against Jonquel Jones, who's a 5 player but likes to play out on the perimeter. Very good 3-point shooter, so she's learning on the fly about playing a lot more outside than what she has done in her college career.
She's 6'7". New York's tallest player on the floor right now is 6'2". Durr got open for 3. Gray on the fake. Oh, and McCowan made her eat it.
McCowan is like, not in my house. And you can hear the crowd just loving that. That's what they were hoping to see from her.
The Fever, who were last in the league in blocks last year, last in rebounds. And so you come and get NCAA's best shot blocker and arguably its best rebounder. Tiffany Mitchell a pull-up 3, and McCowan was held by Gray.
You know, the positive for the Fever as well is not only do we have more firepower for the defensive boards, but offensively now, you know, we've got players crashing the boards. Their defensive transition game has been pretty spot on tonight.
So McCowan from the line hits the first. Curious what you see in practice. She looks like a player that over time could begin to develop an outside game. She has a pretty good stroke here from the free throw line, and that's probably not what you work on here as she tries to get all of these new aspects of a WNBA career underway. But that's a pretty good looking stroke right there.
It is, and assistant coach Christy Size has been working with her after practice on her free throws. So we'll give her some credit as well.
That was McCowan on the miss inside. Here's Kelsey Mitchell. Oh, she's been lethal.
He's like, give me that second chance.
19 for Kelsey Mitchell. She's 5 of 7 from the three-point line and nearly forced another turnover as Burke stepped in off the deflection from Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell did not hit a three in her first 2 games, and she's made 5 3/4 tonight.
And the coach is not unhappy about that foul. They just see Kelsey Mitchell doing it at both ends now.
Well, when you have a performance that has been as complete as this one so far, even when New York has had some success, rarely have you looked Indiana's direction for that reason. The Fever have seemingly been right place, right time on defense the entire evening. They've shot terrifically from the field. They're 60% from the floor. New York is 28%. And those 42 points, every single one of them really been earned, as you see Niall Ren-Cock-Kunwe dealing with a bloody nose. A timeout for infection control.
You know, I agree on that. Nearly every single shot that the Liberty have taken, there's been a hand up there. Probably one of the last shots of Durr that she had wide open was one of those very few she was so wide open probably. She was unexpecting that. But great shot contest. Great ball pressure.
Durr's going to be an excellent player in this league, too. She now has 9.
We're going to see a lot more of Durr and hear a lot more of her as she gets more games under her belt.
Mitchell on the drive, tries to turn the corner, hangs, and she'll go to the line for 2.
Again, great movement. You know, both sides of the floor. Went one side, went back, transferred to the opposite. We had back cuts, great ball, just zipping around.
There's the look of a confident team. Mitchell is one of the league's best free throw shooters, entered the night at 93%. You just have to imagine that first win against New York. Remember last year the Fever were searching for that first win, and it piled into game after game. Just getting that monkey off your back, if you will. That first win against New York, it has to do a lot for a young team like this.
Oh, most definitely, and that was the first time that the Fever had won the first game of the season since that championship season back in 2012. So, you know, there was quite a drought there.
In fact, the Fever have not been over 500 since Game 3 or on, since the Tamika Catchings era. That's what they're trying to do here. With a commanding lead tonight, Zowie B steps into a 3. She has 11. Nice response for her after going scoreless in the opener. Burke trying the baseline, drew the foul.
You know, Kennedy Burke has done a great job of trying to fit in with this unit in such a short period of time. And she, at 6'1", has brought extra length, height and length to this team. She's a nice fit for the Indiana Fever.
Kennedy Burke had a week to remember after being waived on the 23rd from Dallas. She was signed on the 25th by Indiana, was in uniform, did not play on the 26th at Connecticut, then came back here for practice and got, I'm sure, what was a much needed handful of practices with you guys, just trying to get her up to speed. I mean, you have to learn one system in Dallas and then try to erase all of it immediately here in Indiana.
And you can be sure that she was in her apartment doing a lot of study.
Asia Durs had a nice second half. She now has 11. Burke spins away from Allen, lost the handle. Durr leaking free. She tries to track it down and can't finish. Just a bit ahead of her and didn't have the angle under the rim. Cross court. Key on the fake. Back from a call. That is Han Shu in the middle, who has checked in for New York. The 19-year-old out of China is 6'9". I'll tell you, look at her, and she looks at 7'1". They got defensive 3 seconds here on Tiffany Mitchell. She's really a fun story. At just 19 years of age, in their preseason opener, 6.3 million viewers in China watched her game.
That's just phenomenal. I mean, it just gives you chills when you hear things like that. She's a great role model for not just for young females.
The first player since 1997 drafted out of China. Asia Durr didn't realize that clock was winding down. Another strong quarter for the Fever. They outscore the Liberty by 7 in the third, lead by 23. Kelsey Mitchell has it going. So does Tiffany on Wish TV. Welcome you back to the home opener of Indiana Fever basketball in 2019. You couldn't have scripted the first 3 quarters better if you're the Indiana Fever. Fever outscoring the Liberty 28-21 in the third. Here's Kennedy Burke turning and drawing the foul.
And Kennedy Burke is a very versatile player, so the Fever also have an option to play her if they want sometimes at the 4 position. You can see her very comfortable down there in the low block.
Catch Rebecca Allen on the foul. She's a fellow Aussie.
Oi, 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 yes.
Although I looked it up, she's from Wangaratta. Am I saying that correctly? Maybe you don't even know.
I have not heard of it.
She is a little under 2,000 miles from Meriden, which is where you are from, on the West Coast. So this is like the equivalent of...
The best coast.
Like LA and Miami, small cities
Yeah.
just outside of those two.
Rebecca Allen, she's in the Australian Opals team.
This is Allen on the drive. Let's play by Kennedy Burke. Oh, they got a foul on it.
Called for the foul, the hand foul there, but Allen is a great all-round type player. She can knock down the 3, take it to the basket. Very fundamentally sound.
Was clean on the contact of the ball. Perhaps they said they got her with the body. Well, I think it's really a testament to Kennedy Burke, the fact that she can go out and play this quickly into a new system.
Oh, most definitely, and
to you guys as coaches as well. This is a quick turnaround.
well, not just the coaches, her teammates. You know, her teammates have embraced her. They've taken extra time to go out and do lots of reps on 5-on-0s just to get her used to some of the plays.
Ferris Keys had a strong debut. She takes it inside, lost the handle. Shu took it away.
Let's see if Boyd here will take it at Paris Key again.
Allen lines up a 3. New York is 4 of 19 from out there tonight. That's 21%. All 5 of Indiana's have come from Kelsey Mitchell. Mavunga attacking Shu. And Mavunga gets it to go.
Steph Mavunga. That's like a trademark move for her now. You know, and this is a very good time here for Paris Key to get some minutes at the point guard position. Try and take control of this unit that plays a lot together against the starting 5.
Allen attacking with the left hand. That one is long. Charles with the rebound. Mavunga lost it. Charles got it back, deflected it again. Here's 4th try for Charles, and that one goes. Charles now with 15.
She's racking up those offensive rebounds off her own misses.
Mitchell off the mark. Indiana's lead still stout, 23 points. Allen attacking again with the left hand once again. Threw it up there long.
Got the third layup there that Allen couldn't connect with.
Mitchell right to the rim, counted the foul.
Tiffany Mitchell says, look at me, I have no trouble with that.
The basket from the Liberty, number 31, Tina Charles, her third.
You know, and the Fever's transition offense has been on point. And you can see Tiffany Mitchell. She has more awareness now where the basket is when she's going in for those layups.
Mitchell likes playing against New York. She now has 11, a career high 22 in the opener.
Tough night so far for Tina Charles. See how long Katie Smith will keep her out there.
Ball stepped in, poked it away from Charles. So the aggressiveness from Indiana is causing a lot of problems. You see Key picking up Boyd right at the half-court line, and McCall able to jump in front of Tina Charles, who's coming out as Rashonda Gray will check in.
Now, I wish I could pick the lotto numbers like I pick these subs right now.
Kia Nurse will try this one again.
Kia Nurse just with 7 points herself. Quiet night.
Inside, good position for Gray. Maybe shuffled her feet. Say there's a foul there before the travel, and Gray will head to the line.
The basket comes from the Fever, number 23, Stephanie Mavuga, her first.
Gray has been one of their positives here tonight, coming off the bench, working hard in the low block. You see her finishing there for the N1. You see her collect some offensive rebounds in the first half.
Can't connect on the free throw there, and Mavuga has it for Indiana. Key had it knocked away. Even with this lead, you'd like to see the Fever stay attack-minded.
Shot clock down to 5 seconds here. Paris Key needs to make something happen.
Key on the much larger shoe, got around her.
You know, when the offense breaks down, just set a pick and roll.
The fundamentals of basketball. Indiana's been terrific with the shot clock winding down tonight. Oh, here's shoot for three, and she drills it. Oh, look at that.
I wasn't expecting that. I don't know if you were.
I think I have to scrape your jaw off the floor. That was a great looking shot from Shu, who played just 1 minute in the opener and didn't score. So she's getting some nice run here, the 14th
I got to go
overall pick.
I gotta look back in the scouting report.
Did not know that was on in the arsenal. Key's been so strong in her debut. Here's McCall. She likes that mid-range.
Boyd pushing the ball down the floor.
Boyd gets inside, got it back to Nurse. It was out of position. She'll fire and connect. So a couple quick threes here for New York. Indiana's lead still 20.
Boyd just applying that pressure there on Key.
Mavuga tries to answer.
There might be a timeout coming here soon. Some of the offensive options aren't what the Fever are after right now.
Stay on Nurse there in the corner. He turns the corner, got it swatted by Mavuga, but a foul on the floor. 5:58 left in the home opener. The Fever up by 20 here from Bankers Live Fieldhouse. Time now for the St. Vincent heart-pounding moment of the game. Wheeler to Benaja Laney. That was in the first quarter and a beautiful find. America Wheeler always looking ahead. And Laney who's really made an impact here through 3 games, her first 3 in Indiana.
Erica Wheeler doing a great job of not only putting points on the board, but dishing out the assist as well.
Nurse misses her first free throw. She's very good from there, 87%. Laney getting well-deserved rest on the bench. It's not something that you typically hear from a team coming off a season like Indiana's last year, but Pokey Chapman has a lot of depth.
This team in particular does. They've made some great pickups in the draft, as you see, with McCowan and Key. Some great free agent pickups. Like, it's a whole different feel with this unit.
Key over Shu, that's a tough look. Gray trying to pull it down. McCowan hit the deck hard, and Gray tripped over her. Players no worse for the wear. Tierra.
You see your teammate Kelsey Mitchell just checking in on her. She gives the thumbs up. She's all good to go, coach. Keep me out here.
3 points, 5 rebounds in 15 minutes tonight for Tierra.
A little lazy with the pass there.
True of that as well. Behind Tiffany Bias, and the Fever will take right back over. New York has turned it over 14 times, but Indiana's really cashed in, 18 points off of the turnover. In one area, the Fever were really strong last year. They were best in the league at not turning it over. They turned it over 11 times so far tonight. That's a number Pokey Chapman probably happy with. Mitchell has 19, works inside. The athleticism of Kelsey Mitchell and the finish.
She came out of that, limping a little bit there. Hopefully nothing too serious as we see Kia Nurse knocking down the three. We know that's what she's capable of doing.
First thing Indiana wants is to see an injury to Kelsey Mitchell, who's been electric tonight, 21 points. Here's Key blowing right by her defender. Tiffany Bias couldn't finish. Hartley underneath, Gray sprung free.
Lack of communication there in transition defense. Probably one of the first times that we've seen that happen. Gray all alone in the keyway for the easy basket.
Lead at 16, but Pokey Chapman wants to ensure it stays in the Fever's direction. They got 4:06 to wrap this one up. Tonight's play of the game is brought to you by Kroger. We had plenty to choose from, but how about this? Natalie Achanwa puts it on the floor in the and one. Her ace, Natalie Achanwa. A strong evening tonight. Her home debut in 2019. This Fever lead is 16, but you could tell Pokey Chapman wasn't thrilled with the process of the last few minutes. Kelsey Mitchell on the move, lost the handle. Getting back in transition is Hartley. Mitchell came to block her, but got the foul.
A lot of body contact there by Mitchell on Hartley. But just the last few offensive possessions, as you can see. Easy foul there for the referee's call. You can see that we've just lost a little bit of rhythm offensively.
One of the positive aspects of being in control in a game like this, the Fever have been able to play Candace Dupree 20 minutes. That's Candace Dupree, who's age 34, in her 14th year in the WNBA. When you can get her some time on the bench, it's a positive.
You still don't want to be outworked. Doesn't matter what the score is, the coaches won't be happy giving up those offensive boards, being outworked, those hustle plays.
Mitchell attacks right to the rim. Kelsey Mitchell has 23. Nurse going at McCowan. McCowan deflected it and off a Nurse.
And we see the impact there again. McCowan has. Nurse just couldn't find anybody to pass through. Teammates not getting in the right gaps, but McCowan just that big body.
Well, her height is, of course, the aspect that is looked at the most. Here's Tiffany Mitchell from the corner. Kelsey pulled it down, and now Kennedy Burke will line up a three.
Well, great job, Kelsey Mitchell. She got an open shot there for Tiffany Mitchell. Grabbed down the offensive rebounds and found Kennedy Burke.
Back to McCowan for a moment. That wraparound pass is more difficult with a player of her length, too. So it's not just rim protection necessarily. Shot blocking, rebounding. She makes the passing game more difficult underneath. As Gray hands off to Shu with the finish.
You know, it makes a team have to make that extra pass like we just saw there with Gray.
Well, tonight's the night you hope when you look back at the 2019 season. You say, this got Kelsey Mitchell going. She misses there, but she's 8 of 14, 23 points tonight. She's been terrific. Almost assuredly going to finish with the game high in points as Gray attacks McCowan, has to kick back out to Bias.
Tiara McCowan, she stays on her feet. She doesn't go for those shot fakes.
Nobody picked up Mitchell. She'll take it the length of the floor. McCall on the putback, no. And Mitchell gets the offensive rebound. Mitchell staying right at it underneath, was taken down to the floor, and then Nurse trying to go for the ball might have kicked Tiffany when she was down. Well, Paris Key, who didn't play in those first two games, she's at 13 minutes tonight and going to play what looks like at least another minute or two as Kelsey Mitchell, Tiara McCowan. There's a couple of the pillars of the future of your franchise. Mitchell going to finish with the game high in points, and McCowan's impact most felt on the defensive end here tonight.
You know, the future of this club looks good when you talk about those players, and you know, they're just starting their careers, so the future is looking pretty bright for the Indiana Fever. Steph Mavunga
picks the pocket. Mitchell waiting for some help and threw it right back away. Durr going into Burke. Durr left it long. Gray with the putback.
quality minutes here for the bench.
Mavunga. Paris Key hits a three. Paris Key 4 of 6 from the field tonight. She has 10 points. Already looking like
she kind of has that silky smooth approach about her that Candace kind of does.
Shu turns around and hits a long two. How about the stroke here of Han Shu? Nailed a three, had a long two. Paris Key looking like a gem find at pick 23 early in round 3. Mavunga the long two. She can't finish. Gray pulled it down and they'll get a jump ball.
The hand in her face, she was just too good at finishing.
Burke leaps and wins the tip. So there's about a second between Well, the shot clock didn't go. Now the shot clock is off. It didn't really matter. Indiana turns it over. It's all cosmetic at this point. Bias drives the baseline and is called for a foul.
Tiffany shaking their head there, so if we see on the replay where the contact was, it must have been on the body down low.
Tiffany Bias is a fourth-year pro, 27 years old, out of Oklahoma State. Has not played in the WNBA since 2016 and did not play in the openers. These are significant minutes for her. Won a title her rookie season in Phoenix. Bias knocks down the pair. And now Indiana will get it in. And that will take care of the Liberty in the home opener. 2 games against New York and 2 victories for the Indiana Fever, who take this one 92-77, a really complete win for Pokey Chapman's bunch, who jumped out to an 11-0 start. And from that point on, that lead never crawled even within single digits. It's tough to have a more complete win in professional basketball than this one, especially when you're playing a team with a player as good as Tina Charles is. But the Fever have sent their home crowd happy here as they honor their 20th anniversary, their home opener, their 20th season of Indiana Fever basketball. And it goes off without a hitch. Tonight's American Red Cross difference maker of the game. We're going to talk to her in a minute. Kelsey Mitchell was fantastic. Knocked down 5 from out there tonight. 23 points is a game high for her. And after shooting 20% in her first 2 games, I know she was thrilled. And so was Pokey Chapman, the Fever.